All right, welcome back to another episode of Scott's Quick Cash Class. We're here to talk about something that maybe you guys are like, I'm not really sure how this affects finances, but we're going to talk about alcohol. So, I would be remiss if I didn't talk to you guys about alcohol and how that affects your finances. With me being 45 years old, I've had quite an experience with alcohol, pretty much all bad, so I'm just going to share a little bit of how alcohol has affected me and my decision making, and where there was some issues, and then maybe give you some statistics, and then hopefully you guys can maybe have just a little bit different idea around alcohol and how maybe it affects you. This is, if you're my age or older, you already know this, so it's probably not as useful of information to you, but for you younger folks that maybe don't have someone there to kind of let you know, or your friends are pushing you down a path, I'm just going to try to give you some information on that. So one story about me, and this is probably it might be the most expensive lesson I ever had in alcohol. My sister and I were deciding. Unfortunately, my parents had passed away, and there was a property in our family that we had to divide up, and she wanted to sell it and split the money, and I wanted to keep the building, so I had to end up buying her out. Well, I was drinking a lot during that time and wasn't really engaged in saving money or best possible deal, and I had been drinking all day at one point, and I wanted to negotiate a deal, so I called her up and negotiated a deal while I was drunk. We agreed to it. A little bit later, some papers drawn up, signed them. It wasn't until maybe 2 or 3 years later, when I went to sell the property, that I realized that I significantly overpaid what market value was, because I wasn't in my right frame of mind, because I was constantly drinking. Now, that's a one-off situation. Another situation that is maybe a little bit more relatable to you, DoorDash, Uber, all those things, to just bring food at your fingertips, right? Well, there was numerous weekends, and this is me as an adult, in my 30s, later 30s, me as an adult, where, I'd have a weekend where, drinking Friday night, DoorDash food in, next day, DoorDashing more stuff in, and then you look at the end of the weekend and you get your bills and you spent $250 on stupid stuff because you weren't thinking correctly. So I got some good news for you. The good news is, you Gen Zers out there, you guys are, from the past 3 generations, you guys are the generation that's drinking the least amount. So that's awesome. But about half of you guys are currently drinking. So think about that. Here is one interesting fact, for you guys that are in the workplace. Social drinkers earn 10 to 14% more than people who don't drink at all. But when you start going too far, obviously that creates other issues. So there is a workplace benefit to social drinking. I'm not saying that you should do it. I don't drink at all. I think any pro that you get definitely outweighs the con, but I want to be fair and honest, and that's a real statistic. It's a social lubricant. That's about the only thing that I can see as a positive. It lets people relax a little bit more, and maybe be their true self. But I think overall it's not good. So one of the things that I at least know affected me is whenever my friends or peers, when we were out, hey, have another, I didn't have a direction that I was wanting to go. I didn't have a plan, right? So I was like, yeah, let's do it, not realizing that all those little little steps of that peer pressure, drinking when I probably knew I shouldn't or I had enough, not only wrecked me physically, but also wrecked my finances, because I was spending money that I didn't have to spend. So I know there's definitely peer pressure loops in that, and I'm not here to say that that's easy, but that's definitely something that if you don't get on top of now, it's definitely going to carry down the road. The other thing too is just physically, right? When you wake up the next day, I know, I'm trying to speak to a younger crowd here, but I definitely noticed the difference. When I hit 30 years old, I just was not recovering the same. And, we only have so much time, and the busier you get, when you start taking chunks of time, of productivity time away from yourself just because you're trying to recover, and that it's very difficult to move forward, right? It's very difficult to be engaged in your finances, engage what you need to if you're always in recovery mode. So hopefully I gave you a little bit of information that's going to help you out. I'm going to leave you with a question of the day and tip of the day. Question of the day is, what's one thing you would accomplish this week if you had 5 extra hours of being clear-headed and available? DM me, leave a question in the comments, but let me know what's one extra activity that you get done. And then tip of the day, alcohol makes you look in the rear view mirror instead of where you're going, because I can, from personal experience, waking up the next day, I was always in recovery mode. What did I do yesterday? Who did I text? Physically, I need to, drink water, get rid of this headache. So you can't go forward if you're always trying to fix what's behind you, and that's all alcohol does, is make you look in the rear view mirror. All right, so we're all done today. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you like that. Subscribe, leave a link, or leave a like. We're bringing you a new video every day. We try to keep them right around 5 minutes. We know you guys are busy out there. Let me know if there's any topics or questions you have, and we appreciate you watching. Till next time.